Yes, Sheikh Saab.
We don't want to dominate Afghanistan. We have paid the price what we have sacrificed to get their freedom from the Russian occupation. These all Mujahideens comes at that time. They've been trained by all these superpower who are now fighting against these terrorists. Unfortunately, our good gesture been given a bad name. We are in the favor of Afghanistan, all the development, but don't blame us. And we know what you were doing with the Indians when you are going to did something which I don't want to discuss it here.
Balochistan.
But in Balochistan, in border of that, we want to support Afghanis are our brother. We love Afghanistan. We don't want to dominate Afghanistan.
That's
Afghanistan peace is our desire and demand.
That's very
and
well.
This is interlinked
Sheikh
with Pakistan.
That's very well, but the accusation coming from that side, and I heard applause, that it's a changed Afghanistan, that we are limiting their role, their foreign policy, that we are trying to, influence them. Asad Durrani Saab, what would you say?
Yeah, so that is the perception that they have, and sometimes the statements here can reinforce those perceptions.
Baseless perceptions,
the problem in a discussion like that would be that we will get involved with technical matters. We just forget the big picture. We forget the forest for the trees. I think I would agree with Sheikh. And in my time, it used to be called the broad-based government, and nowadays we are calling about the broad consensus. They decide, but the fact is that where Afghanistan is located, it is inevitable that some other neighbors would be interested, would get involved. Now, ultimately, if we are looking at the big picture, that big picture is that the neighbors decide not to interfere, only encourage the Afghan faction under their influence to go and sit at the table and then get out of the room and then let them do it. Now, this is the theoretically best one. But the problem right now is they may or may not agree. Haji Sahib can talk about UN resolutions, but the fact is there are foreign troops and we are talking about how to get rid of them.
The audience...
All right, Shaukat Paracha Saab, you had a question.
Thank you very much, Munize. My question is to all the participants, the panelists sitting there in Kabul and in Pakistan. First, a brief comment about the statement made by Mr. Amrullah Saleh very beginning of the program. And it sounded that Amrullah Saleh still feels that he's holding the portfolio that was assigned by President Karzai. Please know you are talking not in that capacity. And pointing out the same thing against Pakistan. Look at Haji Adil Saab. His party has lost how many parliamentarians? Yes. Look at the PPP in Pakistan. PPP lost its own chairperson who was martyred by the terrorists in this country. But my question is about the future, not about the blame game.
Right.
Do all the panelists here in Pakistan or in Kabul think what's the threat to peace in Pakistan and Afghanistan, whether it emanates from inside Pakistan or it emanates from Afghanistan, or there is some outside force which is threatening peace in future after the withdrawal?
All right, a very, very good question. I'll throw it back again to Mujahid, to you. You've heard the question. What is the response of your panelists there?
In response to the question of my brother, Mr. Paraja, my sense of nationalism and patriotism is not linked to the position that I hold in the government. I still remain a nationalist and I still remain a patriot. Whether I have power in the government or not, the basics of our sentiments is not linked to how much government power we have. We are a nation. So still living in Afghanistan, and I still see what the Pakistani-based groups are doing in my country. It's not a blame game. When we used to meet Pakistani officials from the army and the establishment, and when still we are meeting them, not me, my other colleagues from the government, they no longer deny that they are with the Taliban. As I said, they have put a price tag. Look at the structure of the Taliban. It is called Quetta Shura. Quetta is your city. It is the capital city of Balochistan. The headquarters of the Taliban is sitting there. For dismantling that headquarters, you do not need army intervention. You need police action, which you are not taking. Then Sheikh Rashid Ahmad Saab said, we are allying with ourselves with regional powers, and he has evidence or facts. Let me be very clear on that. When Pakistan gives itself the right to fragment my nation along ethnic lines and harbor anti-state elements in the soil of Pakistan to hurt us as a nation, as a state, there may come a time that we will not be still possessing the policy of coming to you soft way and begging to you to have mercy on us. So as a sovereign country, Afghanistan also has its right to reciprocate.
Yeah.